Time Trap is a sci-fi action-adventure film which follows a group of students who decide to search for their missing professor in a remote cave system. Things take an unexpected turn for them when they experience their worst nightmares and a series of bizarre events related to time and space distortion, entrapping them in a cave where time does not work the usual way. The movie starts with archaeology professor Hopper exploring a remote cave system on the trail of missing hippies from the 1970s. In the process of exploring, he is stunned to discover a cowboy who's paused in place. Petrified, he takes his dog along and gets out of the place immediately. On his way to town, he calls one of his graduate students, Jackie, and informs her that he didn't find any sign of the hippies except an abandoned van. Moreover, he asks her to secretly put together a climbing pack for him. Hopper asks Jackie to not tell anything to Taylor, his other graduate student, as he doesn't want to take him along. Jackie agrees to it. However, when Hopper returns home, he finds Taylor with Jackie, all prepared to set off on the expedition. Taylor gets excited about the expedition, but Hopper straightaway refuses to take him along. When Taylor says that Hopper will need someone to watch his back, Hopper assures him that his dog can do it. The following day, Hopper sets out to explore the same remote cave system. Upon entering the tunnel, he is surprised to see the same paused cowboy at its place. As Hopper steps forward to approach the cowboy, he notices a strange barrier which he steps through without much concern. 2 days later, Taylor shows up at Jackie's house, asking her to come with him to look for Hopper, who has been contactless. Jackie agrees but insists Taylor ask his friend Kara to come with them in her father's Jeep. Kara agrees and brings her younger sister named Vives along. Vives, who is into filming, documents the entire journey. Taylor explains to Vives that their professor went on the trail of missing hippies from the 1970s who apparently were looking to find the fountain of youth. Vives is surprised by the story, and on their way, she asks Kara to pick up her friend Furby as well, so she also has a friend during the expedition. Upon arriving at the campsite, the group finds the abandoned van of the hippies. With much excitement, Taylor enters the van only to find photographs of Hopper's parents. It turns out that the missing hippies were not some random people, but actually Hopper's parents. That's why Hopper was taking this expedition seriously. He wanted to find what happened to his parents and why they went missing. Just then, Furby gathers the group for a selfie so he can use it for his vlog. Later, he trips into the field where he finds Hopper's trail to the campsite by a cave. Jackie takes the lead and finds an entrance with climbing ropes leading inside the cave. Furby gets scared at the entrance and fears that dangerous animals would attack him. Meanwhile, Jackie moves forward and informs the group that the rope has been severed halfway to the cave. She decides to do a second line on the descent to play it safe. They return back to the Jeep where Jackie keeps her backpack inside and Furby chooses to stay behind as backup. The rest of the group heads back into the cave before giving Furby a radio to communicate with them. Before getting deep inside, Taylor advises Kara to relax and let Vives have fun for once. Jackie and Vives move forward and get separated from Taylor and Kara. As Taylor and Kara lower themselves into the cave, Kara notices the same damp invisible wall that Hopper experienced where the air completely changes. Upon entering, he finds the paused cowboy moving inside the cave. All of a sudden, he hears weird embodied voices coming from inside the cave. Terrified, he aborts the mission and runs back to his car only to find it ambushed. He tries to start his car, but unfortunately, the battery dies. Seeking help, he walks towards another Jeep parked in the vicinity and is surprised to find Jackie's backpack inside. Expecting Jackie and Taylor to be in the cave, Hopper enters it and finds a glow stick floating in the air. Meanwhile, Taylor and Kara reunite with Jackie and Vives. Jackie finds Taylor and Kara boring, so she asks Vives to come with her to another tunnel. Inside the tunnel, they start hearing strange noises and someone screaming. Scared, they turn back and Jackie decides to climb the harness first to pull the rest of the group up. However, to everyone's surprise, the rope frays and Jackie falls, injuring herself and Taylor. Taylor realizes that it must be Furby messing around with them. Furious, he tries to contact him through the radio, but Furby does not answer the radio calls. Kara and Vives try to assure Taylor and Jackie that Furby would never mess around this way. Jackie suggests Kara to climb back freehand, but Taylor dismisses her idea, calling it dangerous. All of a sudden, they receive a transmission from inside the cave. Taylor suspects it to be Professor Hopper, but the distorted voice turns out to be a Furby, who asks Taylor to help him. Despite Kara's reluctance, Taylor and Vives decide to enter the tunnel to figure out the voices, leaving Jackie back. While the rest of the group enter the tunnel in hopes to find Hopper, Jackie sits back, throwing glow sticks all around the cave. Inside the tunnel, the trio finds another junction. As Kara proceeds forward, she discovers another opening to the cave and freaks out, asking Taylor to take Vives back. A moment later, Taylor returns back with Jackie to find Kara crying. Upon looking at the back of the tunnel, the group is astonished to find Furby, dead with a broken neck. Taylor goes through Furby's belongings and finds his camera. Upon watching Furby's video recordings, the group realizes that Furby had been waiting for numerous days, waiting for them to return. This weirds out everyone, as they have been inside the cave for just a few hours. The video recordings show that Furby was fed up after waiting for his group to return for several days. Having nothing else to do, he began researching the hippies' belongings, discovering they were Hopper's parents and that Hopper was searching for his missing sister. Moreover, Hopper's parents were following legends of the Fountain of Youth and thought that this cave system was the root of the story. After many days, Furby decided to enter the cave to retrieve keys to the Jeep. However, when he entered the cave using Hopper's rope, it frayed on him, leading him to die. Desperate to save the group, Kara volunteers to climb out of the cave since Taylor and Jackie are injured. Before she could leave, Taylor gives her a GPS beacon so she can get a GPS signal once out. With a rolling camera on her, Kara climbs free-handedly out of the cave only to find out that the terrain has become barren, and there is no rope or signal. She returns back inside the cave and tells the group about the changes. However, they do not believe her, claiming that she had gone only for a few seconds. To make them believe, Kara shows them the video recordings that indicate that she experienced 30 minutes on the surface. Witnessing the situation, Taylor deduces the cave is inside a time distortion, where events move more slowly. He shows Kara his video recording that shows that she had been gone only a few seconds, confirming the time distortion in Furby's video recordings as well. Taylor realizes that no one is cutting the ropes, but it's friction due to time travel that causing the ropes to break down. Kara gets overwhelmed and starts crying, apologizing to Vives for bringing her on the expedition. She decides to rest for a few minutes before climbing back out of the cave to pull others up. During that time, Taylor decides to go through Furby's video recording again. This time, they watch the entire video and discover that Furby survived the fall, but was later murdered by a caveman. Petrified, Kara climbs up quickly to get out of the cave. Meanwhile, Vives goes through Furby's footage once again and realizes that the time difference is much faster than they thought and entire years are passing within seconds. This means that the few hours they have been in the cave are enough to span several hundred or 1,000 years outside. Kara becomes suspicious while climbing and keeps asking Taylor what is going on. Just when Taylor tells her about the development, a retractable ladder descends inside the cave and a futuristic humanoid spaceman follows. Kara climbs down and the group steps back, getting scared by the spaceman. Just then, the caveman appears out of nowhere to attack the spaceman but is overpowered. The group runs into the cave to evade the spaceman only to find more cavemen inspecting the dead bodies of the cowboy and Hopper's parents. Taylor asks the girls to hide and he stays back to fight the caveman but ends up getting killed. Kara decides to check on Taylor. However, when she comes out of hiding, she is surprised to see Taylor bleeding on the ground. Just then, the spaceman returns and despite Kara's reluctance, drags Taylor into a healing pool of water. The cavemen return and to Kara's surprise, the spaceman protects her from them. Meanwhile, Taylor wakes up from the dead and the spaceman subdues the caveman. However, in the process, the spaceman himself ends up getting wounded. Kara approaches him, imploring him to tell her what year he is from. The spaceman uses his last breaths to show them several media clips about their disappearance and indicating that humans are now able to travel in space. The group is awestruck to see the clips and realizes that they are stuck in the Fountain of Youth forever. Vives starts crying, thinking that even if they get out of the cave, they won't have their parents with them. Suddenly, Taylor spots Hopper's backpack in the cave and he decides to look for him one last time. Taking the cowboy's gun, he sets out to look for Hopper and finds a trail of dead bodies and Hopper injured in front of another time dilation. Taylor is relieved to see Hopper, who tells him that the time dilation contains his sister and a legion of conquistadors in battle with the cavemen over control of a waterfall, the source of the time distortion. When Taylor asks Hopper to rescue his missing sister, Hopper explains that the field is strongest here, which makes rescuing his sister impossible. Moreover, he asks Taylor to go and save others before more cavemen arrive. When Taylor insists on him to come with him to the healing pool of water, Hopper refuses, saying that he will die any minute. Having no other choice, Taylor gives Hopper the gun and returns to his group. Together they drag Furby's body into the healing pool of water, where Jackie heals her ankle as well. The cavemen once again attack the group. However, the group run away and use the spaceman's ladder to get out of the cave. Kara takes the lead but is suddenly pulled through the portal by future beings. Taylor tries to pull her back, but just then a caveman deactivates the ladder. Kara ends up entering another portal. From there, she descends mechanical ropes to pull Jackie, Vives, and Taylor through the portal. She reappears from the portal dressed differently and asks her friends to hold tight to get through the portal. One after the other, she pulls out everyone she cares for, including Furby and Professor Hopper. Sometime later, Furby wakes up in a pool of water inside a space station with Hopper. He is surprised to see his friends dressed in space costumes, and Hopper is surprised to see his parents alive. Taylor greets Hopper, happily telling him that they got a lot to talk about. The film ends with Jackie telling Furby that they are not home, but are at least together where a lot has changed. This movie has a rating of 6.2 on IMDb. I hope you all liked this video. If yes, then make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until then, bye-bye.